Robin Hood, made in the year 1973, follows the story of the legendary, iconic Robin Hood, who is infamous for stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, in which is presented throughout all this movie. Although, like it's a Disney movie, it's got a weird twist with it, and that all the characters within this particular movie are animals, including Robin Hood, who is in fact a fox within this movie. So what I liked about this movie is that out of all the versions of Robin Hood, this one in particular is my favourite. As there's several stories of Robin Hood, there's only one version of it, and it's been replicated several times. Like I think in the early 90s it was replicated. There was probably more before Disney took it over. We've seen loads, and to me this one is the best, as it mixes a friendly bit of comedy with cartoon comedy, and it tells a good story, and you can tell that some real big effort's been put into this. Even though it's got the Disney twist, it is classic and is clearly a great watch and clearly one of the best Disney classics made. And to me, it just illustrates why I grew up watching Disney, because they were incredible as they managed to change a story like this into something of their own, in which now they're known for, having the likes of Robin Hood, in which was a classic tale we all heard about as youngsters. But now when you put it into real life, you always think of, when you think of Robin Hood, this is from my point of view anyways, I always think of the Disney 1973 movie, in which I thought was the better version. Moving on from this, I also liked, like I said, with the twist, the animals and things like that. It gave more of a kid-friendly sort of movie, in which I thought worked for this. And unlike all the live-action versions, which are, I think this is probably the only one in which is actually a cartoon, as most of them, what we're used to seeing, are live-action movies of Robin Hood, like that. I think there's the King of Thieves one in the early 90s, I believe. And that one was obviously live action, and then there's several other versions which are live action, which can get, in which to me, a live action version of Robin Hood just seems a bit boring, it seems a bit off. I don't know, that might have been because I watched this version first, the 1973 version that Disney did, but I just thought that one appeals to me more because it's funnier, you have a laugh, you enjoy the story, and to me, it just bundles everything together. I also liked how they used the narrator in this as well, as the narrator was key in this movie being a success, as he was able to break up most of the iconic scenes that we love. As at the start of the movie, it begins with the narrator telling the story of Robin Hood and the iconic legendary figure of Robin Hood. And there's no better way to enter a movie like Robin Hood by having a little bit of a sing-along, and that's what this movie does spectacularly. And I just thought he helped the movie progress, and that's what the narrator's for. But he was there, he used like songs, and he used the words he said to illustrate the seriousness of certain scenes and the funniness of certain scenes, or the happiness of certain scenes, in which I suppose the narrator's meant to do, but whoever narrated this was absolutely fantastic, and it helped the movie grow to a whole new light, because without the narrator I would have thought it would have been quite boring, quite stale, but he brightens it up and lowers it down when needs be, which I really liked. However, this movie doesn't entirely smell of roses, as I've said how good it is, but there's some bad things about it too. The animation, not good. If you're watching it as a young viewer now, you would be like, this looks pretty shit, I'm bored, I'm going to turn it off, because the animation isn't crisp like Despicable Me, Toy Story 4, Incredibles 2, like the newer generation of animated movies. It's just not at that standard, is it? And I think I can sit there and watch it, because I grew up watching likes of Tom and Jerry, which are similar to it, which are like hand-drawn, painted ones, instead of imagery created on a computer. And that's what I like about this, is it's so, and it goes back to the time of year back when. But if you're somebody growing up now and you're seeing Despicable Me, Toy Stories and all these others that are generated on a computer, you're going to be like, I'm going to pick the generator on a computer one because it looks crisper and it'll keep me more entertained. Also, I would say that not only to a younger audience, but even to an older audience, like if you're in your teens as well, I think that could affect it as well, because people growing up now in their early teens, I would say, would lean more to the generated computer images because that's similar to the games they play, rather than having some imagery that isn't perfect like this is, and like Pinocchio and all these early classic movies. And that's why I would turn around and say that Robin Hood is probably outdated, the Disney version, compared to the newer movies that are getting released now. To summarise the movie of Robin Hood, the 1973 version, I would say that it has its faults, but it is one classic movie in my opinion, and one hell of a movie that keeps you going. Hence why I've rated this movie a world-class film and a 7.4 out of 10. Let me know, guys, what you thought of this down in the comments below. If you agree with anything I said in this video, get down in the comments and let me know what you think of this movie. Also, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted to all the new content this channel creates, and see you guys in the next one. Laters.